Welcome back into another episode, Spaceman 2.0 Phoenix Truth Rising Show. Here to help you grow in the knowledge and wisdom of truth, and the truth will set you free. Exposure to Illuminati's plan of world conquest and control is the death knell to the New World Order. I know I always say the best history lesson and spiritual insights on the planet. I know there's a lot of other people. I make a lot of mistakes like I just did, fumbling over my own words, but that's okay because we all do. And the best, yeah, I like to just to say the best. Who else is going to say that? No one else really will say that about me, so I might as well, for one thing in my life, the best history lesson. It's really not me, it's the Phoenix Journals. They are the best history lesson on the planet, and they collaborate many investigative journalists from around the planet and off to confirm what is said and not always correct the perceptions of every investigative journalist, but helps understand the different aspects. Therefore, it's up to us to discover the truth and uncover it for ourselves. Getting into the next part in Phoenix Operator Owner Manual, your flight instructions, we're going to get into how the Antichrist encourages self-punishment, which is one of the aspects of Christ said, forgive them for they know not what they do. So forgiveness is a key element of understanding yourself so you're not in past guilt and as well future fear and holding on to anger as well as animosity and resentment. We need to have forgiveness. But it is truly by the grace of God that through forgiveness, by repentance or saying, I acknowledge my sins, my negatives, I don't have to repeat it or get karmic consequences come against me. By grace, I can be forgiven. And that's what Christ was teaching, is forgiveness in terms of asking for redemption from things that we've done in the past and things that we think and desires that we have. Basically is how the Antichrist rules us, and we're trying to break free from them, but it's truly by God's grace. So may God's grace be upon all, but may you remember that. But it's not always by your works, right? But you try to have to follow the laws of God, but it's by God's grace that he saves you, because there's many times that the cat has 9 lives and you might have been saved a few times and you're like, whoa, what was that all about? But it's because of your innocence and understanding of the truth that you cry out to God, and God's there with his angels to help you in each and every time. It's happened to me many times, and I cannot discount it that it was God intervening to keep me on the path or help me in some way stay on this planet. So surrendering your will to God's will is that which is the key. So when you don't know what to do, traveling is one of the best times to understand this, because when you don't know what's up ahead over the roadway and around the corner, you have to have faith and trust in God and in those that are taking you there, and you don't even know if they're going to take you there honestly. So you have to have total trust in God and follow your intuition. So by surrendering your altered ego to the loving divine God within, okay, you can allow God's actual balance of his laws to come through in the creation and play out so that your life is in balance and in harmony. So going with the flow of God's intuition by your intention, because only through your intention can you create your day, and your perception of the day is through your intention. But then while you intend, you have to be able to surrender your own intentions to God's will, because he might say, okay, make a right turn when you want to make a left, and it ends up coming around to fulfilling your own divine desires within, but maybe not in your perfect timing, maybe in the right timing and synchronistic timing, that when you listen to your intuition, that's when it happens perfectly. So having said that, let's get into the Antichrist encourages self-punishment. Of course, you know by now, self-punishment is encouraged for past sins, errors, which is really your altered ego unworthiness, inferiority, superiority, which we discussed earlier, expressing itself in the following ways. So if you want to take care of that, according to the way the fake Khazarian Hebrews do it, they actually make a day of atonement where they say from this day of atonement to the next day of atonement, they are forgiven of all sins, errors, obligations and promises made, especially to anyone that's not of their clique. So they are totally encouraged to not only break their promises, but because of the Day of Atonement, Kol Nidra, check it out, the Kol Nidra, it was supposed to be from the last Day of Atonement to this, but they changed it back a couple hundred years ago from this Day of Atonement to the next. So you're actually encouraged to make sins because you're already forgiven. Having said that, understand that it's only by God's good grace that you are truly forgiven, not by your psychic mindset of programming yourself that you're already forgiven and believing in it. So the following ways we have self-punishment is criticism of self and others, greed, lust, jealousy, envy, guilt, shame, self-doubt, depression, helplessness, anger, hatred, resentment, impatience, which leads to frustration, illness, and disease, which lead to the death wish of the body. So I love counting, and interestingly enough, criticism of self and others, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 is divisible by 3 equals 6, 6, 6. 3 6s right there. So if you continuously do this, you're actually feeding the Antichrist within. And I might have broken down that all numbers are God's, but basically the Antichrist is known by 666. Self-punishment is the effect of the cause of believing the lies of the Antichrist. The effect of the cause of believing the lies. So believing the lies is the cause, and the effect is self-punishment of the Antichrist. This may continue lifetime after lifetime. Okay, again, reincarnation, you're here for an infinite, immortal cycle upon creation, the creation through God and His holiness and His grace. And when you do this, this makes the poor immortal soul become self-locked onto the wheel of reincarnation. They took this out of the Bible, by the way. But it's still alluded to in the books because they say, is this Elijah or this Isaiah coming back and stuff like that at different times when Christ returned or when Christ was coming to John to be baptized? Okay, continuing on. hATON. Oh, yes, there is. Right? About wheel of reincarnations. hATON. Oh, yes, there is. And if you believe otherwise, so be it. For it is you who are the misinformed. Reincarnation does not necessarily mean that you return to this placement. But if you do not believe in reincarnation, re-experience of the soul in manifestation somewhere, then by deduction taken further, you do not believe in God's heavenly realms either. You cannot have one without the other, and because this is such a powerful truth, it was deliberately removed from the books you as humans would call your holy books in the form of the Holy Bible, as you label it. The fact remains in the ancient teachings and new ones this day are facing an enemy who does know of life experience after this one and knows this is but a passing experience. Okay, out of brackets, and seeks to punish himself for his perceived sins of the past in hopes of redeeming himself to his creator God. So that's a lot of why we self-punish. If he just understood the power and importance of forgiveness and release of his past and adhering to the laws set forth by God in the creation, he would be free